Hello, welcome to today's analysis of the NQ and a little bit of the ES. It is Friday, the 1st of November. Yay, new month. What happened? What happened indeed? We had a huge push down, as we looked at yesterday. It was pretty massive. Rather spooky, you could say. But where does that bring us? Well, we're coming back into this whole thing. Do you remember this? You remember this whole area? This was a source of a break of structure upward. This is our last kind of source before we're playing with kind of this area here. We do have stacked lows here, stacked liquidity under these lows. But while we're in the pull, we can't deny that the pull is valid. And this last push down here was not necessarily a break of structure, but it was actually, well, it was smaller break of structure, but it was more so liquidity being taken on higher time frames. So like 4 hour and upward, maybe 1 hour and upward. Yeah. There was a RTH gap here that has now been fully filled, which is nice to see. And it came into a 4 hour order block that's down here. Tapped during Asia today. Tapped interestingly during Asia. Small little things here. Money flow on this low is a bit odd, and it's a bit difficult to say exactly where it leaves us. There's a desire in my mind for it to bounce from here. Whether it does for UK or not, I don't know. It's pretty mixed signals. Maybe let's go through how I see money flow in a video. Let's do that now. So, taking this low back here, remember we are bullish. We're in a bullish pull, right? Granted, we did change character here on the higher time frames. It was a break of structure. This could be counted as a break of structure, but we're very deep into a bullish pull now. I know that these lows are stacked, but we have to take the pulls as they're given. So this low on the 1 hour, keep it to the basic time frames, the 1 hour, we had this push down on money flow, and the push down was lower than this money flow, right? So it's kind of a continuation sign. If we want to get a bit more zoomed out, we can see that it was also lower than the liquidity grab that we had here. So it's kind of a nice continuation idea. But that just got dived. Now waves dived and money flow dived at the same time. But if we even on the 1 hour, if we zoom in, this is where you'd look for absorption. And you can see it in different iterations as we go down, but from this push down, which is within higher structure up here, and this push down here, money flow didn't change. And we actually got a divergence. The problem is we kept creating lower lows and we kept tapping, even though it's liquidity grabs is relative, we kept tapping lower and lower. And as we were tapping lower and lower, money flow was coming out. Now on this initial push down, this pink vector, money flow was up, and that was a divergence. But we tapped again for liquidity, and money flow came down even more. Then we got a progressive hidden div on money flow. As price was coming up, it was going down. But this is something that I've seen catch me out a lot before, and it's almost invisible when you look at it in the 1 hour. But actually looking at it on the 1 hour, I think, and coming into these points can give you some good information. We come down to the 30-minute. We might see something interesting. Let's see. Okay, so if we come down to the 30-minute, This was the higher structure point, and we dived here on this push down. Then this push down was still diverging that higher point. This push down broke money flow, divergence, and then these pushes down were higher. So to me, it seems like there's there's a big desire for it to push up here, but I don't know if it's going to happen yet. As we come down, we can also see that money flow is just kind of like, it's a really deep push here. So I would be cautious for taking longs around here, though they are possible. Let's come into what happened today. There's a lot of sessions playing around here. There's a lot of sessions playing around in this consolidation. It's the start of a new month, so I'm gonna be a bit reserved, I think, with my trades. This was the area I was just looking at on the 1 hour. As we come down to the 3 minutes, you can see there was absorption here. But as we know, okay, so this is the other chart. This did take liquidity on the main chart, so that's why this is marked here. As we know, we saw what was happening on the higher time frames, and we have this big swipe by US before Asia opened today, and this is kind of indicative normally of just ranging behavior, which I welcome. I love ranges. And when you trade a range like this, you have to be hyper aware of what's above and below you, and very small changes in structure and what they mean for those pivot points. Sydney opened here, higher than the US low, and I use Sydney's pivot points as important areas. Both Sydney's pivot points have been taken, which just adds to me the feeling of ranging. But what China did was, and I took a little short here, but I actually closed it really late. I should have just targeted these, but anyway. What China did was it tapped into US's pocket and gave a very large push and a change of character, even though if you want to see relative to this point, we actually had broken structure bearish at the start, which just tells me even more that they want to range. But anyway, Tokyo has this nested high within US's high. US's high took liquidity, and we know that liquidity swipe led to an absorption at this area. If we zoom out again, we know that we fully closed the gap and tapped into this 4 hour block, which we have still space to tap into. Heavy liquidity area down here, right? So the last place that US opened was here. Sydney had a gap, which tells me even more that we're just going to play around this point. I think we could just range today. What range plays am I looking for? Well, EU opened here. Tokyo took liquidity here, and then instantly kind of came into this pull. We're trapped between two Asia highs, which are trapped between two US highs. It's a recipe for not going anywhere until US opens. So what do we have inside here? I would say that this change of character, even though we came in and took liquidity downwards into it and came back into the close, we still have areas of interest around here. There was a gap created on this push up here. And this is the kind of situation where I could see them just taking China's low and liquidity being the only thing that keeps it in the range. Normally I look for blocks and stuff. We do have a 2 hour block all the way down here that China's low is nested in. We could just take China's low and keep ranging. It's very, very possible that we just stay stuck inside here. So we're going to look for really concentrated pulls that are created here and focus on market structure shifts, right? This was a change of character, and then we had this kind of bearish nod, I'll call it. And we've just taken liquidity of this pull, right? So could we come down into and tap this? Sure. We have imbalances here from Asia. And they could get really tight with what they're playing in here. It could get really, really, really close. If we break the range, we are in a mitigated order block. Very barely mitigated. This one, 15-minute. A lot of liquidity up here, but if we do break this high, I would take that as an interesting break of structure. Probably spend a lot of time inside this block, waiting for US to do what they're going to do. If we stay inside this range, our focus is on, if we break the low, we have a naked point of control of this consolidation, which resulted in a large range and break of structure upwards. Get this RTH thing. This is me experimenting with something. If we break down, we could tap into liquidity pool here with this pull, because this is where the change of character happened. So we could swing fail this low, value area low. We could do that. There's an untapped order block there, which I marked way back when, and it's just still there. But I know anyway that this is an area we could tap into and swing fail. This is kind of our last chance, in my opinion, for a higher low, temporary higher low to be put in. What do we have above us? We just have this huge fair value gap, so some mitigation is warranted here, coming up and just hitting into it and then pulling back. But with inside this area, it's just a big gap. There's so much volume here, or there's no volume here. There's just a big volume gap here, this area. So whatever move comes up here and doesn't just mitigate it and move back in, whatever move keeps going will probably keep going and take this liquidity, which was the source of the move. And there's a really nice pull here. This is just asking to be swing failed, I think. Whether they come up to this order block that was made at the RTH gap before the push down, or they just swing fail this high, I feel like when we do come up here, it's going to be one of those U-shaped liquidity grabs. Like wherever we start, like just whatever we do, up into here, and then get taken over by the pull and maybe range out, right? Or it could be the higher, it could be the lower high to bring us into the bigger pull. Either way, we're bearish, but we're at the lows and we just hit a bullish pull. So I wouldn't be surprised if we did move up from here, whether US or UK does it or US does it or whatever, I don't know. It's Friday. They like to make runs for profit. And we're sitting in an area of profit on both sides for them, right? They can recover the move or they can keep it going for the whole week down into this pull for Monday. What could the sessions do? Depends on if they really want to buy or sell. By they, I mean US. If US really wants to buy, I feel like UK might bring it up, dance around in here, and then set it up for US to swipe down. If US really wants to sell, and they want to spend the next week accumulating down lower, I feel like UK might bring it down, range it a small bit in here, and US swipe it down and then bring it up. Maybe. Right now, it's range territory, and you just have to be very careful about what trades you're taking. Got to be kind of zoomed in and really notice the implications of each little move, what it means for the greater picture. I love this. This I love this. This shit when we were up here and it was just doing this, I was like I was not having it. Because I don't know, I have like a blind spot to this kind of thing, especially when it's during Asia. It's like no liquidity being taken. I mean, a lot of people do very well in these like trending environments, but I don't. I always expect them to pull the move that is like violent and in the wrong direction before they keep it going, right? Which is what they can do a lot here. And signs can be very clear here. The implications of signs. So yeah, it's Friday. Take it easy. Next week is elections. It's going to be mental, I would say. I would be very cautious about when you're trading next week and probably dial it back. Exercise discipline in not trading at times because it's going to be crazy. I don't know how it's going to be crazy. I think this is my first election that I've properly traded. Yeah, it would be. It would be. I mean, 4 years ago, I was like trading crypto, and it wasn't like how I'm trading it now. This will be my first proper trading during an election period, and by that, I probably mean not trading. But anyway, this is what I see at the moment. These are my little positions. I'm gonna get rid of them. This is what I see to be aware of. This has now become normal. There's changing character. This is inside this one. The greater is up, but remember what I said about money flow. Things kind of smell around here. I wouldn't be surprised if these lows were taken. But how we get there, I don't know. Tokyo close recently has been giving some strong reactions. UK has been respecting it. Don't know if that's gonna stay until today. The hour shifted in UK. It went back an hour. US still has to go back an hour, so the market's behavior and timings aren't exactly lined up. I'm kind of waiting for that to happen too. That will be after elections. There's a lot of reasons why I should just stay away. But seeing as we're in a range, I'm going to play the range. And I would suggest others do that too. All right. Peace, guys. Happy trading. Have a good weekend, and we'll see you on Monday.